Hi, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. So, I've been keeping an eye on 2025 Topps Chrome football because, I am a big football fan. Football cards were my original um, sports card that I got into in the 1980s, in 1985, 86. And so, I'm always keeping an eye on football cards for one reason or another, maybe even more so than the other sports. But we all know that, with Topps getting all the licensing for, football, basketball, and of course, baseball, that the prices are just through the roof. Okay. And it's really tough to get in to these products at MSRP or to try and pre-order or, Topps direct to consumer a lot of the times. So you have to hit the secondary market and deal with scalpers. Okay. But what I've noticed about this product is the price has been going down. And I saw a post today on X talking about it. But before I get into that, let's just go over this set a little bit. Like it says here, on April 15th, 2026, release day for 2025 Topps Chrome Football standard hobby boxes originally retailed for roughly $360 MSRP. And to a lot of us, that's still a lot of money. I mean, for me, I still couldn't afford $360 to be honest, with what I have going on currently. But, a lot of other people could. But it's really tough to get a hobby box at that price. And so, like it says here, however, due to massive demand for Topps' return to the NFL, secondary market prices and dealer markups quickly pushed the actual price on release day anywhere from $675 to over $1,000. Okay. And we can go over some sales on eBay. Okay, so we know that April 15th was the big release day. I'm just looking at some sales from April 19th, okay, onwards. And we can see, what people were paying out the gate on the secondary market for this. Okay, so here's a hobby box that was sold on April 17th, 2026 for $980. Yep. I mean, that's a lot of money. If you could have picked that up at, that low MSRP, yeah, that's an awesome sale. Then, of course, we have one just below that for $937.99 that was sold on April 19th, 2026. Another hobby box that was sold for $925 on April 19th. Here's a 2025 Topps Chrome Football Hobby Jumbo box that sold for $1,879.99. Okay, so here's another hobby box that sold for $970 on April 18th. So they were pretty much going for, $1,000 or just under that. And that takes us to our most recent sale on May 31st, 2026 for $682 for a hobby box. So it's dropped, close to 1/3 of where it was, around the release day. So that's something to think about when you get into these products. Granted, you're always going to be up against breaking companies buying cases. And, for me, it feels like a hobby where you have to buy cases to really get into a lot of the best cards. But we can see, these sales yesterday, May 31st, 681, 680, 662. Here's one, $699.95. So the price has definitely dropped on this product, okay? And for a lot of these boxes, they always do tend to drop, but I feel like this one's dropping more than other products for one reason or another. So I pulled this up. This comes from DeHook. It says 2025 Topps Chrome Football Hobby Boxes, and he has little arrows going down, And he's showing this as well, Sold May 30th, 2026 for $665. Another one sold May 30th for $659.99, And the thing about this product too is you're only getting one auto per box, which to me that's just ridiculous at those prices. But it is what it is. So here someone replies, having a hard time selling my Topps Chrome Haul. He has quite a bit there. That looks like retail to me. He's got some hangers, blasters. He has the mega box, the retail mega box. And looks like it says, he's having a hard time selling that stuff. It says here, I'm glad it's going down. All these damn scalpers buying up all the product, trying to make a quick dollar and take away from actual collectors that want to open the packs. Yeah, like he replies, that's fair. Yeah, I've noticed I'd feel lucky to find some, but now I see them and don't even buy them. Laugh out loud. And so, people, I guess, aren't really jumping into this product like they were when it was first released. People are getting cold feet on this product for good reason. So let's keep scrolling down here. Always seemed unsustainable given that Dart, Scat, and Tet were the biggest rookies to chase. Like he says, maybe they will take another step. Yeah, I mean, everyone's always crossing their fingers on these guys, when they come into the market. But a lot of times they don't really go anywhere for the most part. So I can see where, this rookie class, people just aren't really scooping it up, like other rookie classes in the past. This just shows how much Topps artificially enhanced the market. When they charge shops $1,100 SMH, this ought to be Exhibit A for the next anti-monopoly suit. Yeah, he replies, yeah, this whole thing was crap. Yeah. And I'm not sure if your LCS had stuff marked up that high. I wasn't really chasing this down because, I knew I was budgeted out. I feel like you see this sometimes with football during the off season. I would be shocked by September you don't see a spike. I'm not sure if you're going to see a spike because we all know that everyone's going to be pushing into the 2026 season, And the 2025 season, when this was released was over with, Panini ran with it as far as they could, and then basically Topps Fanatics picked up the baton, and kept going with it. So I can kind of understand why there is some burnout with the 2025 Topps Chrome football, just for the fact, it's been around for a while. Another reason could be that, there's just going to be fewer people investing as heavily as they were in sports cards in comparison to a few years ago. Topps Chrome has always been watered down in baseball. This just being the first year with license in a long time, so everyone jumped on it. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I am so burnt out of Topps Chrome. I mean, it's been around forever. I mean, it's a great product. Don't get me wrong, but it's been around since the 90s, and I honestly wish that Topps would maybe retire Chrome and come out with something else. I mean, when I think of Chrome, I think of the 90s. I used to have this black Ford pickup that was all chromed out, 4-wheel drive, lift kit, and everything. The women loved that truck. And, I could relate to Chrome when it was released. I'm like, yeah, I've got Chrome this, Chrome that on my pickup trucks, Everyone loves these beautiful trucks that are all chromed out, But let's face it, I've grown up and I've got burnt out of Chrome, It's wild, football really doesn't sell. Very surprising. It's also not football season. We are hitting the slow months of card sales too. Yeah, but I honestly expected the price on these boxes to stay up there at, closer to $1,000, than what they have. They're dropping. They could be closer to MSRP before you know it, So anyway, do you believe that people are just kind of losing their love for 2025 Topps Chrome football? I do. And I can understand why, Yeah, and, there were points made, in this post where, it is kind of a rough time of the year to be jumping into football cards, and maybe this is a low point, and maybe this is the time if you're going to buy these boxes to buy them. Although I'd still stay away. I'd probably be looking for singles, yes, I would prefer to be ripping boxes myself, ripping packs, but for this product, you just might be happier chasing down the singles because I honestly don't know if these rookies are really going to go anywhere. Yeah, cross your fingers they do, but so many really just don't. I think a lot of people are seeing that. So anyway, I'd like to thank my subscribers. You're the reason I keep doing this, these shows. If you could give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And keep an eye out, on your subscription list, for when I release new episodes. I'd like to thank my viewers as well. If you haven't subscribed as a viewer, I'd just like to thank you for watching my episodes and my channel. But if you could just hit that subscription button, it would really help me out a lot. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.